Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today what I want to try and do is have a discussion and a showcase where I can highlight and talk about just how vastly I think build making has changed in this game over the past, it's been out for over 3 years now, but specifically in this most recent update, just how vast the possibilities really are now. And I'm not saying that people haven't realized or tapped into this creativity and possibility, but sometimes I feel like the total number of options that are out there for ways in which you can make a build are sometimes overshadowed by the old favorites, the things that people know are reliable and that will get the job done. Well, the title of this was not clickbait in the least. You can obtain, with this update, 12 core attributes on your build, and that's not even counting talents or active bonuses. Just passively, you can have 12 core attributes, which is double the number that you're quote-unquote supposed to have, or the amount that's possible by just combining 6 different gear pieces, and it's pretty insane. So I want to go over that, and then in general, I just want to talk about the vast number of ways in which you can possibly build, because all the time, I see people asking me, how should I set my build up, blah, 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 and sometimes it's just better to go in there, put the hammer to the board, and see what you can come up with. It's a lot of fun. So let's go over this right now, and I'm going to show you again how you can get 12 core attributes on your build, but the possibilities are just starting there. So of course, you start off, and you have 6 attributes on your main pieces, right? Of course, we're using the memento, and that's one of the ways that we're getting this, but at a baseline, you get one core attribute per item, and that's 6. So we have 6 blues off the bat here, right? Then, we're of course using the memento, which gives us 1 of each, but let's talk about the skill tiers first. The yellow cores, we're getting 1 from there. We're using the technician specialization, which gives us a free 1 as well if you have that fully maxed out. Then, we're using the new brand set with TU16. Like I said, this update has increased build potential even more. The 2 piece of that, you get another skill tier, so that's 3. And then, as I just pulled out here, if you use the TDI card custom name pistol, you get a passive skill tier there. So anytime, I have to swap it so that it'll stay on this one. If you have your pistol out, you then have 4 skill tiers. 6 blues, 4 skill tiers, but we're not done there. You also then get 1 red off of the memento, 1 red core, and a second one from the Picaro's holster. So you have, again in total, 12 core attributes, 6 blues, 4 yellows, 2 reds. And I think that's absolutely insane. And this video isn't even really for me to like showcase a particular build that I think, utilizes that the best. Over time, I really want to dive into that stuff and see what I can come up with. But I really just want to point out to people just how crazy you can really get with this stuff now that we're, 16 major updates into the game and we have this backlog of just items that do so many cool things that can really combine in some really neat ways. For example, I just threw some of this stuff on here to see what I could come up with. You can use then still while doing this, the contractors and the foxes to get those multiplicative damage bonuses. You could mix in, like I have on the TDI card here, because you're not going to have your pistol out 100% of the time. Likely, you're not going to make a build like that. But if you want to do something where you pull this out, you get that 4th skill tier. Maybe you use a skill then that utilizes that, and you throw a grenade for sledgehammer here. That then marks them for 30% more damage. That's equivalent to having 2 more weapon damage core attributes of 15%, 30% more damage. That's great. At that point, you could really mess around with what talent you're running on your chest piece, assuming that the mementos take amp the backpack slot. You won't have one there, but let me go in here quick and show you that there are so many talents as well, like I said, that you can count as core attributes because they give you that equivalent amount of damage bonus. 12 is just the number of passive ones that you could potentially obtain, but not including all the talents and the different combinations you could do there. There are some insane combinations. One I was thinking about is, I should have a perfect spark in here, yeah. If you do one of these, you have a skill, and anytime it hits an enemy, you get 15% extra damage for 20 seconds. Well, imagine you're using something like a striker drone that you have 3 or 4 skill tiers for. Then you're getting that for extra weapon damage. Then you could use In Sync on your gun, which gives you, if you use the perfect version, up to like 40% more damage for your weapons or skills. The possibilities in this game, as of this update, and just cumulative over time are so vast, and sometimes I really do think people overlook that. Another path you could go down is that you could then start running some improvised pieces. If I wanted to put on one of the gloves here and a knee pad here, you could then have up to 12 core attributes, and, so I need to pull one out of here, but you could have 12 core attributes and up to 5 mod slots. So if you want to spec into some more niche type of stat like incoming repairs or armor on kill, there's so many possibilities. Look, 5 mod slots plus the 12 core attributes. There's just so many things you could do. Not to mention exotic weapons you could bring into the loop, like the chameleon could get you tons of more weapon damage, which is the stat we're specking into the least right now, so maybe that would be useful. You could do something like the backfire to get a bunch of crit damage. If you want to run these improvised pieces, you get hazard protection or extra crit damage to make that even more powerful. There's just so many options. And then, that's not to even mention the specialization, which you could either choose to spec more into healing or skill damage with this passive bonus down here. You have the Artificer, right? If you want to run 3 or 4 skill tiers plus the Artificer, then whatever your other primary skill is could be buffed up even more towards the power of like 6 skill tiers. tiers. So you have 6 blues, 6 skill tiers, equivalency and power. And yeah, if you use the right exotic weapon, probably close to like 6 weapon cores, you know? Like there's just so many options. Of course, then whatever you end up using, you can choose the weapon image for that. I mean, you can spec more into skill stuff, more into healing, more into damage. There's so many combinations of things. And again, this isn't a specific build video. Maybe at some point I will try and come up with like the most effective build using the most cores possible. But at the point at which you can get 12 core attributes in this game, up to 5 mod slots, up to so many different ways to spec into different stats and ways you could tune your specializations, talents, combinations you could come up with that, and your skills, exotics that grant those unique bonuses. I mean, the Division 2's build making has, I won't say never been more diverse, but there's so many options that could come together. And I still think, as you all know, I still have my gripes with this current system, but you can't deny that there are perhaps the most amount of unique items in the game right now that you can mix together in ways that have never been possible before in the Division 1 or 2, and I think that's pretty special. That's probably going to wrap it for me on this one, guys. Again, not a super long video, not a build video in any sense of the way, but I really just wanted to showcase to all of you how diverse things can really be in this game, how many possibilities there are out there for different types of builds that can fit your specific playstyle. You don't have to go by the build videos that are on Reddit or on YouTube or whatever. Coming from somebody who makes build videos, there's so many options out there, and while it can be nice to go with those more reliable options sometimes you just got to go to the workshop and see what you can come up with. And I think there are a lot of great options, and I would love to know some of the combinations that you all come up with. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about build diversity currently in the Division 2. I know a lot of the conversation right now is dominated by the current bugs with the game, the issues with like the closer chess piece and whatnot, and certainly that's fair, and I hope that all gets resolved very soon. But just shifting the conversation, and on another note, how crazy is it that TU16 has added a new brand set where you can get weapon damage and another core attribute, and it's a skill tier is its second brand bonus just as a passive. I mean, like I said, so many options, so many combinations, so many possibilities, and I'd love to hear where your guys' minds go when you think about those, all those options. That's going to do it for me today, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.